Hello my friends all over planet Earth. Today I'm making a juice with mostly kale and French sorrel and red bell pepper. I'm calling this another garden harvest juice, and let's look at the rest of my ingredients. In addition to my French sorrel, kale and red bell peppers, I have some ginger, some cucumbers, one medium-sized beet with tops, some Anaheim peppers, an apple, some turmeric, and of course carrots. Let's make some juice. As usual, I'm going to start with greens, and I'll start with some French sorrel, but before I do that, I'm going to cool down my cutter with some ice cubes, plug in my thermometer. It's a very hot, humid day today, so with the ice cubes it's going to cool down my cutter so that I can preserve my nutrients that will be destroyed from heat. Start with greens. I'll put in some turmeric. Because I'm already up to 24 degrees centigrade. This will cool down my cutter. A little more red bell pepper. Some tomatoes. Now I want to point out that French sorrel makes your juice very, very sweet, as well as cleanses every gland in your body. So we'll continue with French sorrel. Now I want to point out I'm going to put in one hot chili pepper. That's usually a mistake, but since I have a lot of quantity, we might just get a good tasting snappy tom. We'll see what it tastes like after we make the juice. Add some apple to sweeten it up. A few more tomatoes. One avocado seed and some beets. Whenever your juicer jams up like that, give it a jump start by flipping the switch like I'm doing here. I pushed that produce down a little too fast. So my motor's working hard again, so I'm going to clean the grid one more time. Greens tend to be very, very fibrous, so you have to clean your grid more often when you do greens, especially with some greens that are more fibrous than others. This tomato looks a little too big. Yes, it is. We'll cut this one in half. And remember to keep this covered at all times, because it's going to give you blowback if you don't. Now I'm done with my greens, so I'm going to start with carrots. After I feed in my first two carrots, I'm going to clean the grid and switch from the J grid for juice. The J grid is 3/16" holes, does a better job on greens. And I'm going to switch to the number 2 grid, which is better for carrots, 1/8" holes. And we'll continue with carrots. Usually you put in the big end first. Always keep this covered. But when your carrots are small, you can reverse them, save a little time that way, putting 2 at a time through. Now I'm down to my last carrot. And I want to point out, when you're down to your last carrot, there's always a plug of produce down here, usually a carrot. You want to take some pulp, put it in the feed tube, and force that last plug through. So the next step is to clean my grid and the feed tube, and then mix the produce and make some juice. Now I usually like to clean the feed tube first, so I'm going to do that now. And the next step, of course, is to mix the greens with the carrots. Whenever you have carrots in your bowl, you do not need a bamboo liner, because your pulp will not stick to the cloth if you have carrots in your mix. So rotate the bowl in both directions so you get a really good mix. Right, I'm going to begin making juice with my less work 6-cloth method. And you begin by putting 3 ladles of pulp into your cloth. That's about a cup of pulp. Fold it in thirds, and I'm going to set this aside and put 2 cloths full of pulp through at the same time. So we'll prepare another 3 scoops. Now to demonstrate my less work 6-cloth method, I'm going to put 2 cloths full of pulp centered left to right, front to back, all the way back, back it off, and turn the machine on and continue. That's a little more when you're on your last cloth. Now here's my 6-cloth method. This goes forward, this goes over, and the spent cloth goes on top. Now you need not wait for every last drop because you're going to be pressing this again. So 2 more cloths in here, centered left to right, front to back, all the way back, back it off. Now for the less work 6-cloth method, there's usually a puddle of juice in the collection bowl, so you take the spent pulp, put it in the puddle of juice, and then continue folding your cloths. Now another less work 6-cloth method, rather than putting your pulp in the bowl, you can put new pulp on top of the spent pulp. You don't throw this pulp away until the very end. So a couple of scoops on top. Later on you'll put only 1 scoop because the patty's going to get very thick. Advance it all the way when you're on your last cloth. This goes forward, this goes over, and the spent pulp goes on top. This goes in the juicer, centered left to right, front to back, and we continue. So I'm going to put this back in the bowl because there's still a puddle of juice here, and then continue filling my cloths. Taking the spent pulp and forming it into a ball because I want to demonstrate how you can get 10% more juice with the Whole Health Foundation juicer with our bottom solid plate. So I'm taking the pulp, compressing it into a tight ball. Watch my folding technique. I'm going to fold this under 2 or 3 times, like so, in both directions. I'm using a measuring beaker to see how much extra juice we can get. And as soon as I get juice flowing, I'll advance that a little bit more. So far we have 5 ounces of juice. Advance that all the way. 10 ounces of juice so far. Let's put in our last 2 cloths of reprocessed pulp. Right in the center, all the way back, and as soon as I get juice flow, I'm going to back that off. There we go. Remember, you don't want that to go out too fast. There's 12 ounces. I suspect there's even more juice in this, so I'm going to repackage it one more time while that's pressing. That's a little bit more. Remember, you don't want that to go up too fast. The cloths are very, very slippery. So there's about 17 ounces of juice so far. There's 18 ounces. Okay, we can get more juice out of this, but you get the idea. And we'll pour this into bottles. Now my last step is to top off the bottles with either filtered or distilled water. I use distilled water because I have a water distiller. And this prevents any air from getting in the bottle and lengthens your shelf life of your juice. So let's top this off and cap it off. This session I got 12 bottles of juice, and remember, about 1.5 of these bottles was the extra juice we got from reprocessing the spent pulp, and we have enough for a taste test. Now let's do a taste test. Remember, this has the extra hot chili pepper in it. Actually, it's not too bad. It's got a little tiny bite to it. Perfect, actually. And the French Sorrel mellows out that taste a little. Here's to your health, my friends. And if you'd like to call me, my phone number is 760-753-0321. My email address is developtrust@cox.net, and my webpage is wholehealthfound.com. Here's to your health. Delicious. See you in the next video.